You can kind of try a couple more. So if you weren't here yesterday, make sure you pay attention. Remember, we're using Desmos on this. So you are typing this into your calculator, the exact formula without the A equals part. So when you go in, you type it into Desmos, and then you're going to use all this information. But it says for students who graduated with a bachelor's degree in 2022, 51% had student loan debt, with the average being $29,500. Jesse has a loan of $29,500 at a rate of 5% annual interest paid monthly. His is a standard 10-year plan. So what is the p-value in this? Okay, and then we're going to change our percent to a decimal, and that's going to be our R. Monthly means that N is going to be 12 and P is going to be 10. So we go in and we type our formula. And remember, you got to be careful about how you're typing it, because otherwise you can screw up all your stuff. Probably should have done this a minute ago. It's fine. And then you're going to hit add all the sliders. Okay. And then all those numbers that we just had, we're going to put them right here. So we're going to have 29,500. We're going to have 0.05. We're going to have monthly. And then we're going to have 10 years. Okay. So what is our monthly payment? 312.89. Remember, we go to two decimal places. Okay. So 312.89. Go for it.
Okay, so that. Okay, yeah. So like, how would you like know exactly where?
So P is the initial, right? That's how much you're like borrowing. R is your rate. So that's the percent, right? N is the 12, it's monthly. And then T is time. This is the formula for monthly payment. And yes, I'll give it to you. So all you have to do is retype this equation into Desmos and then assign those numbers.
And will always like, or always say monthly,
It'll say monthly unless it says another adverb, like semi-annually or something like that. But for the most part, you make monthly payments on cars and loans. Okay. All right. How much is going to be paid back in total? So we're going to take our monthly payment. We're going to multiply it times 12 because that's how many months are in a year. And then we're going to multiply that times 10. Okay. So we're going to take our monthly payment. We're going to multiply it times 12, multiply it times 10. So our total is going to be 37,546.80. That's how much you're going to pay in total by the time you get done paying things off.
So in 10 years, you'll spend $37,000.
Right. Now, part C says how much interest is Jesse going to pay? Here's how we do this. We take what you would pay total and then how much you minus how much you borrowed. So going back into Desmos, we're going to take how much we paid in total minus how much we actually borrowed. And that's the interest. Interest is basically like the extra payments that you made. Good. So we took how much we paid in total minus how much we borrowed. Hopefully that was a good refresher from what we did yesterday. I don't see any blank stares, so hopefully we're okay. Okay, can you take the next like 10, 15 minutes? I want you to try 2, 3, and 4. You have to read. Look at what the question is actually asking you for. Sometimes they'll ask you interest at the beginning, and then they'll ask you the monthly payment. So make sure you pay attention to what the question is actually asking you for. Okay, take a moment. You're trying all of those problems. Okay. I'll leave these up here for reference. So, okay. So let's go ahead and talk about number 2. Okay. Number 2 is that Jamie has a loan of $29,500, rate of 5% annual interest, paid monthly, and she has extended it to a 25-year plan for monthly payment. So the only difference between the last one and this one is the years, right? Okay, so we're gonna come in here and we're gonna change this to 25. Okay, so your monthly payment is gonna be $172.45. Okay, and then coming in here, 172.45. That's gonna be 20,694. Nope, because we gotta multiply by 25. JK. So that's gonna give me 51,735. And then your interest paid is 22,235. Okay, so total and interest. Yeah? Are we okay? Hardest part is literally typing in the equation. You get the equation wrong, everything else is screwed up. Okay? Good. All right, go ahead and take a look at 3 and 4. Go ahead and get those knocked out. Okay, so Harrison is buying a car and needs to borrow $15,000. He's got good credit and can get a loan for 6.5% APR. Hey, your credit score impacts what your interest rate is, just FYI. He has an option of a 3-year or a 5-year loan. If he chooses a 3-year loan, what will his monthly payment be? So we're going to come in here. We're going to say, all right, he's going to take out 15,000, and he's doing this at a rate of 6.5%. Remember, we got to turn that to a decimal. And then we're doing this for 3 years. Ta-da. So 459.74, right? 459.74. Cool. Now, how much interest will he pay? So you've got to find the total and then you subtract the initial. So we're going to come down here and we're going to say, all right, his monthly payment was 459.74 times 12 times the 3 years. So his total is 16,550.64. And then we're going to subtract how much we took out. So 15,000. So he had an interest of 1,550.64. Good. Questions? All right, now if he does a 5-year loan, we're going to just come up here and change this to 5 years. That'll be 293.49. And then they asked, how much will he pay in interest? Well, again, come down here. We're going to say 293.49. And we're doing this for 5 years. So they paid $17,609. 1769.4. So they're going to pay interest $2,609.40. Look at the difference. 3-year versus 5-year. Now, your payment is more expensive on a shorter term, but you get done faster and you don't pay as much in the long run. Does that make sense? Okay, so if you're able to do, when you buy your house, if you're able to do a 15-year versus a 30-year, try to do the 15-year. However, if it's not affordable, it's not affordable, right? Okay. You can also start out with a 30-year and you can refinance and you can pay it off quickly and shorten it to 15 years. But if you pay it off too quickly, then you get penalized. So it is a game of checks and balances. Yeah. So then that's because I don't know what the reason is, but you take a hit for the fact that you already have it paid off. Because you've agreed to a loan for this many years, right? And they want to make a money off of you, and they make money by the interest. So if you pay it off in 8 years instead of 15, well, now they're not going to make any money off of that. So they're going to ask you to pay even more because they're not going to make a profit off of it. Does that make sense? It is crazy, but it is a game. It really is. Okay. But you got to be ahead of the game. Okay. All right. Do any more time on 4? Or are we good? More time. Okay. On this one, I want you to check with your neighbor. I want you to check with your neighbor because all I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you what the number is and I'm going to write it down. Okay. So if you're wrong, we're all wrong. So I need you to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Check your people around you and make sure that you all have the same numbers. Okay. Take a moment. Try that. Okay. So what'd you get for part A? What will her monthly payment be?
0.78.
Okay. Remember, we go to 2 decimal places, right? We don't just like 196. Okay. How much are you going to pay in interest?
2,000.
Okay. If she chooses the 5-year loan, what's going to be the monthly payment?
332.18.
And how much interest?
14,000. 4,000. Wait, it's 4,000.
4,000. Yeah. Okay. Which had the bigger impact on interest paid? Interest rate or the length of the loan? Okay, so looking at this really quick, we had the same amount, right? Like this problem on 3 versus this problem on 4. Okay, they borrowed the same exact amount. Okay, we saw there was a difference here between 3-year and 5-year. How much of a difference was that in part 3? I'm sorry, 3. How much of a difference was part A and part C? Okay, what about B to D? How much of a difference? In number 3, look at your numbers. What's the difference between B to D? Subtract those 2 numbers. On number 3, you're subtracting those 2 numbers. How much interest was there between those 2? D from B. How much? What are you talking about? No, okay. So, hey, look back at 3, subtract these 2 things. It should be a positive number. Subtract those 2. How much did you get? 2,044. If, again, 0.92. If we go down to here, subtract B and D. Subtract B and D from down here on number 4. What did you get? Awkward. So on number 3, what's the difference between B and D?
It's 2,000. See? This is like it's
Okay, so Pyro, did you do number 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's this one. So what's number 3? Subtract the B and D from number 3. What did you get? Y'all agree? Okay, what am I asking for you to do? I'm asking you to look at the difference when you change the interest rate. So when we went from 6.5% to all of a sudden 11.8%, how much was your interest here on B? How much is that amount? Look back at the answer on B.
It was 1550.64.
1550.64. Okay, how much was B on number 4?
2,884.
Okay, what's the difference between these two? So subtract those two. What do you get?
It's 1,333.44.
Is that what you got? Okay, so looking at that, we just compared the percent difference, right? Now let's look at how much of a difference do we have from a 3-year to a 5-year, right? Okay, so from 3 years to 5 years. So look at from B to D on number 3. Subtract those two. From B to D on number 3.
Um, 558.76.
Agreed? Okay. Which is a bigger difference? Which has a bigger number?
The
The percent. So if you have a higher percent, that's going to be impactful, right? Okay, so if you go in and they're like, yeah, we're going to have a 10% APR, you're going to say no, and either you negotiate or you walk away. You don't get a car with a 10% APR. That would suck. Does that make sense? Because look at how much interest you're going to pay. A whole lot more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I lose you? Are we okay? Okay, so if we have a lower APR, that's better. That means we pay less interest in the end. Okay? If we have a higher percentage, we're gonna pay more interest. Okay? It's cheaper to do a 3-year plan versus a 5-year plan because it's a shorter amount of time, you don't pay as much interest. Okay? When you get offerings like this, these are the things you want to look at. They're trying to trip you up so that you pay more interest so they get more of a profit. Cool? Yeah. Okay. It is a game. Play it well. All right. Look at the next page. Same question. Yay! You should be perfect at this, right? Okay. We only have a couple questions. All right. These are the last two. On these two, okay, you're going to trade papers with someone and they're going to grade it for you. Okay, so I need you to make sure that you're actually doing it. This is the last round of practice before we take our short little quiz. The quiz is just like this. If you can do this, then you're good. Okay, so go ahead and take a moment. We're working on 1 and 2. Quiz thing real quick. All right, go to apps, go to peer assessment, clear your desk off. You need a pencil, maybe, probably not. Oh wait, no, you do need a pencil. You gotta write on this. Never mind. Okay. Clear off your desk except for your laptop. Phone needs to not be in your lap. I don't know who has service in the class. Somebody does. I think y'all. Somebody does. Somebody got that Wi-Fi. I do, but I cannot give it out because they only give us like 5 to connect. And so like my phone, my iPad, my Swim laptop, this laptop, and there's one other thing that's connected to the Wi-Fi. So I'm out of like even certification. I can't even share, like I can't be like, hey, here's mine. No, I can't even do that. It is on paper, but you're gonna use Desmos online. What, honey? So you have to do it. If you do, hold on. Am I turned off? I am. Okay, so you have to first to go like 2.2.2.2. You do 4 twos, and then you have to go in and then register as an employee. But I don't know if you can do it since you don't have an E number. Mm-hmm. And then it goes from ECPS mobile. Mhm. I don't know. They probably won't give it to you though. Oh, okay. I don't even have any more that I can give out. Yeah, but it's paper. But yes. Mhm. Okay, we are on 2.3 quiz.
This gonna be on paper.
It's on paper, but you're gonna use a laptop. Mhm.
Wait.
Yes. But you're gonna log in.
Oh, okay. Everybody use Desmos? Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and go to your peer assessment, go to apps. Okay, here's your password in a second. Go ahead and get in there. Remember, this is just for your that one. Okay. I give you the formula on the sheets. Don't goof up how you type it in. Okay, that would suck. That would be very sad for you. Okay. All right, make sure that your review guide put away. Okay. Yep, go to app, go to peer assessment, go ahead and get in there. Okay. It depends on the day, but sometimes. The one that Michael.
Really? I think it's exactly. Grown at.
Adulting. Okay, Lisa, in your room. All right, it might kick you out. Take a second. Are you in the state one or in the? Is there an option for state? Okay. All right, don't freak out. I'm gonna kick you out of that Desmos really quick. Yep, don't freak out. But don't look out. All right, let's try this again. Okay, do you see a new one that popped up? All right, get out of the other one. I tried to. Come on, Hunter. Do you attend Peachtree Ridge?
What did you say no?
I mean, you do. All right, yeah, try that one. Keyword. Good.
I
Good.
think I got it from that one. Okay.
Right. Okay, if you're in there, it's fine. If the calculator giving you some hard time, log in and use this. It's a copy of the AFA quiz calculating steps. And then it's going up here on the desk. Right. Gonna be talking.